What is the longest you've gone without knowing a person's name? My next-door neighbor introduced himself when he moved in. I promptly forgot his name. I danced around it for that same 5 years. He was from a French-speaking part of Canada, so when talking with my wife, he was French guy next door. 5 years after first meeting, he admits in a conversation that he'd forgotten my name. We have a good laugh and reintroduce ourselves. His name was Guy. I had it right the whole time. He was French guy next door. French guy next door, not be confused with Venezuelan guy next door. That's a different guy. This guy. My name is apparently Darren to this nice couple who own a restaurant in my town. My name is not Darren. I've known them for 2 years. We're even Facebook friends. They can literally see and read my name, but it's cool. I always wanted to try being a Darren. I like this reply the best. Darren. I will learn where you live, and then swallow you whole without chewing. If I am Darren, then you will be Darren's excrement. I've lived in my townhouse for almost 5 years now, and I don't know the name of the guy who lives directly across from me. I have pretty regular interactions with most of my neighbors, but I've never talked with this one guy beyond just exchanging pleasantries while passing each other. When I moved in and first met him, I immediately forgot his name. I was almost positive he said it was Mike, so I went about 4 years just assuming that was probably his name, but not quite confident enough to actually call him Mike. And a few months ago I was talking to some other neighbors in the parking lot when he walked by, and my other neighbors called out, "Hey!" So it was confirmed that this guy's name is not, in fact, Mike, and I was relieved I hadn't been calling him that for the past 5 years, but I immediately forgot again what his name actually is, so now all I know is that it is something other than Mike. Maybe I'll learn his name by the time I've lived here 10 years. Why don't you get someone to break your arm? Then you can get it plastered up and ask him to sign your cast. Think I'm going to try this. I've been on the receiving end of this. My nickname in college was the Mayor, and I had people I had known for years coming up to me asterisk at my graduation asterisk saying, "I had no idea your name was actually Dan. Happy Cake Day too." How do you end up with a nickname like Mayor? Let me see if I can get my old roommate to answer that. Paging you, Mandog Jr. My cousin gave birth to a baby girl like a year ago and I still don't know her name. Maybe you can wait a few years until she's 4 or 5 and ask if she can spell her name. She'd be excited to do it for you. Gonna be trouble if she spells it completely wrong. Most likely over a decade. I'm in the UK and I've got to know many of our acquaintance down my local pub. Over time you get to know about their work, hobbies, likes and dislikes. You get to know how many kids they have, how many times they have been married, etc., etc. Then a friend from out of town visits you. And as you do in the UK, you go to the pub. Lo and behold, your pub acquaintance is there and you introduce your pal from out of town only to realize you know everything about your pub pal, everything except their bloody name. Illis 16H49. I don't speak German. The whole date. Someone fixed us up at my dude, never told me her name, just the address. She wanted me to pick her up. I didn't have guts to ask her name between the date. Edit, she became a long-time GF after that date and we laughed about it forever. It rhymes with a female body part. Mulva. The whole school year I knew their names, I just didn't know which twin was which and they weren't identical. I have 2 cousins named Matthew and Martin. They are not twins and don't look anything like each other, but I have no idea which one is which. My parents. 5 years at least. Same, I thought their name was Mummy and Daddy until I realized other children were calling their mummies and daddies. And so I went to ask my parents what their name was. Smiley face. I remember asking my mom what my middle name is. So I really didn't know my own full name. I work at record store. There's a guy who's been coming in weekly for the entire 11 years I've worked there. We just call him Sweaty Polish Guy. He always pays with cash. Dating my girlfriend for a year. Still don't know her name. Premarital name knowledge is a sin. Unexpected Mormon. The guy around the corner I buy weed from has just been the weed guy for 3+ years. A lot of us know weed guy. You know Dave too? My entire life I still don't know everyone's name. Hi, I'm asterisk. Mr. Nipples to anyone else. This is about a person who refused to learn my name. I'd moved away from my hometown. This dude had started hanging out with friends of mine. I'd come back to visit from time to time. Matt would be there, and I'd introduce myself every time. This went on for about 3 years. Every single time I saw him, he would extend his hand to me for a shake and say, "Hi, I'm Matt, and who are you?" The part that rubbed me the wrong way was that he always asked, "And who are you?" I kept letting it go, including one time at a memorial for a very close friend who had passed. Up walks Matt, extends his hand to me and says again, "Hi, I'm Matt, and who are you?" I mean, who am I? Just some dude grieving, and decided this wasn't the time or place and let it go again. Not a year later, another friend passes. This happens again at the next funeral. I'm asked, "And you are?" and I walked away this time. Later that night, some mutual friends invite me over for some drinks and to remember our lost friend. Well, guess what? Here comes Matt. Twice in one day I get, "And who are you?" My heart is broken, and this person who pretends I don't exist is questioning my existence again. I turned to the mutual friends we have, explained to them that this is exactly what I have been telling them Matt does, and it drives me crazy. So I explained to Matt that I am sick of his game and that we'd met dozens of times throughout the years, and questioning who I am in the houses of people I grew up with is hurtful and feels at times like an attempt to remove me from the only group of friends I've had since I was a kid. He admits he knew my name the entire time, and he's sorry because he claimed he was just trying to protect his friends. From what? He claimed from someone he didn't know, but also didn't bother to ask them about, or even feign enough interest to act like a decent human, and address a friend of a friend by name. He's just a petty beep asterisk asterisk asterisk. Maybe your friends talk you up and make you sound awesome, and he's jealous. He does this beep to put you in your place and make himself feel better. I once worked with a man for 3 years and didn't learn his name. Best friend I ever had. We still never talk sometimes. Ron, is that you? And GT, what is the longest you've gone without knowing a person's name? About 23 years. Didn't know his first name. That turned out to be important for me, in a weird way. He was a Marine gunnery sergeant in Vietnam. Gunnery sergeants are addressed as Gunny. I never call him anything else but that. He didn't make it back. 23 years later, I visited the wall and learned his first name. Made a difference for me. Hard to explain. Here's the story. Fair warning, it's a long one. That was beautifully written. Thank you for taking the time to write it all down and spread the story of Irving. I appreciate it. The exterminator that came to my parents' house every month to spray it had a very long Polish last name, many consonants, few vowels. People tried to pronounce it, but just couldn't. Instead, they simply referred to him as the Bug Man. I thought everyone called the exterminator the Bug Man regardless of name. 10 years the people from my office but from different division. They seem to know me and often call me out when I passed by, but I don't know their names, and at this point it seems awkward to ask them. The company website might have clues. Dog park people. We see each other and talk almost every day, but they're always dog's name.